I'm going to give you a quick tour of my vegetable garden. This whole area was just grass. In March, we tilled it up and I raked it and I raked it again and I raked it again, and you can see there's still a lot of grass weeds coming up. Back over there in the buckets are my little red potatoes. And here you can see that I've grown some crimson basil from seed. Those are coming up a little bit. Next to them I have some romaine lettuce that my aunt gave me. And everything, unless I mention otherwise, was grown from seed in this garden. There's some sage, some petunias. These are provider green beans. They had some damage that I was afraid might be blight a few weeks ago, and I pulled up 17 plants. So that was a heartbreaker, but I didn't want blight to spread everywhere. Also in this garden, in this little bed, you can see that I've got these plants here. These are called lemon bee balm, and they'll grow up and they'll get like a lavender bloom on them. So the lemon bee balm is different from lemon balm. This one is actually called Monarda citriodora. And over here I've got some dill. These are some older ones that the seeds I grew inside. And then here's some small ones that I've directly sown, little dill plants. And some more provider green beans over here. And I'm gonna have to look and tell you what kind of green beans these are. I forget, but they're not provider. I don't think I planted something different here. And some more petunias and some more magnolias and some sage. And I've decorated the little greenhouse with some daylilies and a butterfly bush that I was able to salvage and root here. She's little. And some rudbeckia. Over here I've got lima beans. So these were from the seeds that I had stored in the refrigerator for 3 years because we weren't able to have a garden for a few years. And they didn't germinate well. I believe they're called Ford Hook. And you can see I've got, I think I've got, I've seen the little worm. I think he's called a cabbage worm. I don't know, tiny little worm, looks like a little inchworm is what I would have called it as a kid. And I've knocked him off, killed a couple of them. So hopefully they won't spread to these little guys, which are some I ordered online from a place. And I think they're called Henderson bush beans, and they're heirloom limas. And we love limas here, so we're really excited about those. And then these are red kidney beans. So these you grow and you harvest the seeds for a dried bean crop. And they look awesome. Aren't they beautiful? And then these are more limas and more petunias, and of course nasturtium. What else can I show you? This is a plant that everyone keeps asking me about. It's called borage, and few people around here really know what this is, but it's the most beautiful flower, and I don't even know where I heard of it, but I started getting it years ago, and it's deters the tomato hornworm, and it has these little blue flowers that you can pop off and put in ice cube trays, fill with water, make ice, and have these cute little decorative ice cubes. And also I've been taking the newer baby leaves and cutting them off and then cutting them up and then putting them in tea, and they make a really good tea. This is one of my Beefmaster tomatoes. So I have 4 of these here, and these were grown from seed indoors. And you can see I've got tomatoes coming. There's several little tomatoes in there. And borage is all around. And this poor little girl, I had her on these things, and then she got really big, and I thought, you know, I really should have put a cage on her, and I hadn't. So yesterday we shoved her in here and knocked off a few of these cute little tomatoes. She's called a ladybug hybrid. And so these are like little cherry tomatoes. They're really good. And there's one. So hopefully we didn't send her into shock, because she looks great. And then this is a birdhouse gourd. So the plan was to let this birdhouse gourd grow up and over this arbor. And so I've got birdhouse gourd on the corners. And next to the birdhouse gourd, I've got Watham butternut squash. That's what these are. And I'm hoping they're also going to climb up this arbor. Lemon bee balm and the sage and marigolds and petunias all around in the garden. So all of those plants will deter pests. And these are my peppers. These are the ones that have got little peppers on them right now are called, let me see, they're cherry pick hybrid. And they've started to get little peppers on them. You can see it. And the rest of these are California Wonders. And I really thought I had lost them a couple weeks ago. It had gotten a little chilly. It was too cold for them, I think, or they may have been lacking in nitrogen. I'm not really sure, but they turned yellow, and I was really afraid I was going to lose them. And so here's my little stand of basil. Okay, here is something called Floss Flower. And one thing I've noticed about Floss Flower is it almost looks blue in person, but when you get a camera on it and take a picture, it makes it look a different shade. Can't quite capture that color on film. It's really pretty. They deter mosquitoes. And this is my sugar snap peas. You can see they're growing onto this arbor thingy. And they're getting bigger. I keep having to tuck her over there. And then see, I've got little sugar snap pea pods on there. She's cute. So last but not least, let me show you what's eating my potatoes. These are almost ready to harvest. I've got until June 24th, so I'm a little less than a month away from harvesting them. But if you look really close, you can see that they all have little pinprick holes. All the leaves have little pinprick holes, and I've done some research and determined that that's a flea beetle. And I'm holding off on treating them just because I'm so close to harvest. I don't know if I want to put any more chemicals on them, and they still look so good, so I'm just going to keep an eye on them. But there you go. Now you've seen a little vegetable garden, one of several projects I've got going on here.